Update. Am I the a-hole for considering calling off my wedding because my fiancé refuses to sign a prenup after I found out she has a massive credit card debt? Original post. I am just a middle-aged man supposed to be getting married in a few months to my fiancé. We've been together for 3 years, engaged for 1, and for most of that time, I genuinely believed we were on the same page about life values and, most importantly, honesty. For background, I've worked hard to build a stable financial foundation. I'm not wealthy, but I own my home outright, have no personal debt, and I've been saving and investing since my early 20s. It's been a priority for me, especially since my parents went through a nasty divorce that ruined both of them financially. Months ago, while we were discussing wedding costs, I brought up a prenup. Not in a cold or controlling way, I just wanted to protect the life I've worked hard to build. I was upfront that I'd still be fair, and the agreement wouldn't leave her with nothing. I expected an adult conversation. Instead, she immediately got defensive. She said things like, "So you're already planning for a divorce?" And "I thought we trusted each other." I tried to explain it wasn't about trust. It was about transparency and mutual protection. But she shut it down completely. That's when red flags started popping up. She became evasive every time money came up, and I started noticing weird things. Credit card offers in the mail, a few missed payments on shared expenses she said she'd cover, and lots of "I'll handle it later" energy. So I asked directly if she had debt. She admitted it, $92,000 in credit card debt. Not student loans, not a mortgage, credit cards. She said it accumulated over the years from unexpected expenses and a few dumb splurges. But she never told me about any of it until I forced the issue. I was stunned. We're about to merge lives. This woman was about to legally become my spouse, and she didn't think I deserved to know she was 6 figures in the red? I told her this made the prenup non-negotiable for me. I need to protect myself, not just emotionally, but financially. I told her I was willing to still move forward, but not without something in writing that protects my premarital assets. She lost it, called me selfish, said I was turning love into a business deal, said my house and money should be hers too, if we're truly a team. Since then, she's refused to talk about the prenup again, and we're barely speaking. Even her mother called me and accused me of humiliating her daughter and being materialistic. All I want is to not be liable for debt I didn't create, and to make sure the life I built before this relationship is protected. So now I'm seriously reconsidering the whole wedding, not because she has debt, but because she hid it, then refused to take responsibility, and now is treating me like the bad guy for trying to protect myself. I'm almost certain that she could pay her debt since she is a part partner in her friend's business, but she just refuses to. Am I the a-hole for thinking about walking away? Now for the top comments before reading the update. $92,000 in credit card debt. Not student loans, not a mortgage, credit cards. $5,000 or $10,000 is a few dumb splurges. I can't begin to fathom $92,000 in credit card debt. Not the a-hole. You're dodging a bullet. She will destroy you. Not the a-hole. You're definitely doing the right thing. It is a huge red flag, and credit card debt meant it could get even up if she spends money all the time she doesn't have. And the thing is, she has the ability to pay all of these since she's earning passively from her friend's venture. I don't know where her income went. If she was hiding this from you, she likely was hiding more things, and that includes where the money went. Now for the update. So I wasn't planning to come back, but a lot of people messaged me, and honestly, it's been a hell of a few days. Figured I'd give an update. So yeah, the wedding is officially off. After I posted, I tried one more time to talk to my fiancé, well, ex now. I told her I wasn't trying to be cold or controlling, I just needed to protect myself. I also said that if the roles were reversed, I'd completely understand if she wanted to do the same. I told her I could still move forward with a wedding if we signed a fair prenup. One that clearly said her debt is hers, and my home or savings are mine if things go bad. I also said I'd go to therapy or counseling with her if this felt like a deeper trust issue. She didn't take it well, said again that the prenup was an insult, and I was basically planning for divorce. Then she started crying and said I was humiliating her and that I was destroying everything we had built over money. But that's the thing, it's not just about the money. It's about the fact that she kept a massive amount of debt hidden until she had no choice but to tell me. And even then, she only told me because I pushed for it. That's not partnership, that's avoidance. So I told her I couldn't go through with it. I called off the wedding. It sucked. It still sucks. We told the venue, canceled what we could, and let people know. Her family is furious. Mine has been supportive but trying not to say I told you so. I've lost a lot of money. Deposits, suit, some family flying in from out of state. But honestly, that's nothing compared to what could have happened if I had ignored my gut. She moved out 2 days ago. We've barely spoken. I keep second-guessing myself, even now. I didn't want this, but I also don't want to wake up one day in financial ruin, wondering why I ignored every red flag just to avoid hurting someone. Anyway, thanks to everyone who gave advice or just listened. I'm heartbroken, yeah, but I feel like I did the right thing. Doesn't make it easy, just necessary. Not the a-hole. I'm glad you found out before you got married, and I'm more glad you didn't push on purely because you love her. She showed you clearly she cannot be trusted and finds no fault in lying to you. That all she was actually wanting was for you to be liable for her debts, and for her to get her hands on your savings so she can keep spending. Without respect, trust, and love, there can be no marriage. As hard as it is, she couldn't have loved you if she was happy to lie and trap you with her debt. I'm just glad you brought up the prenup, or you might never have discovered the truth. Yeah, for me, trust is the most fundamental thing in marriage. That's why I chose to let go. Dude, you did not throw away love for money. She did, and did that lightning fast. If you really want to know how she felt about you, this alone tells it all. She's clearly the one who wanted it to be a business transaction and got upset that it won't be happening. Wish OP had called her out on that, but oh well, at least it's over. You're materialistic. You're making everything about money, says the person with almost $100,000 of credit card debts, who wants OP's house and share of his savings. Of course her family is upset. There goes their meal ticket too. Or at least there goes their fears of ending up having to pay off her debt themselves one day. 'Cause you know who she's gonna turn to when the debt collectors come knocking. To be fair to her family, it must be hard realizing that they have raised someone who is a liar, a deceiver, entirely self-interested, and financially incontinent. Much easier to blame the OP than blame his ex, or themselves. The fact that he implied she had the wherewithal to financially cover her debts, but chose to hide them until marriage, is a red flag if ever I saw one. So she was happy to con her soon-to-be husband into paying her debt, or she has been lying about how well she does from her and her friend's business venture. I'm glad he was able to get out with only some losses from the vendors, but I wonder what the "I told you so" from family members was all about. What else was wrong with this woman? I knew a woman who married a friend of my rat bastard of a then-husband too soon after a whirlwind courtship. During their honeymoon, he revealed that he had massive soul-crushing debt, and that now half of it was hers. I don't think the marriage lasted a year. Next story. Am I the a-hole for breaking up with my boyfriend after he skinny dipped in our pool with my sister at home? Hello Reddit. My boyfriend 31 male was home with my sister 19 female while I was out. When I got home, my sister was locked in the guest room and told me she had something to tell me. She had been staying over for a couple of days. She said that she looked out her room window and saw my boyfriend swimming naked in our backyard pool. She saw everything. Later, while she was in the kitchen, he walked in completely naked, and she could see his junk. He stopped, said hi, and waved. She was shocked as he walked past her, went to his room to grab some clothes, and then walked naked through the hallway to the shower and had a long shower. She said she was frozen and embarrassed. After that, she went to her room and locked herself in until I got home. I confronted my boyfriend, and he just said that he felt like skinny dipping because it was hot out and that he lives there. So he thought it was fine. It's my house and he's living with me, and I told him he's a freaking creep. He didn't even apologize to my sister when she saw him. I broke up with him on the spot and told him to get the heck out. He said he could apologize now and that I shouldn't overreact, but I told him we are done. He wouldn't leave immediately, so I screamed in his face that I'd call my sister's boyfriend over and we'd see what he freaking does to him when he hears what happened. That's when he left. I made my sister promise me that next time she feels uncomfortable, she should tell me, her boyfriend, or someone right away. I told his friend what happened, and word spread. Now everyone thinks he's a freaking weirdo and they stopped talking to him. He blew up my phone, and I just texted him that his actions have consequences. I told my sister's boyfriend, and he threatened my ex, saying he better not freaking go near him or my sister or he'd find out. Am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. It was more than just skinny dipping since he walked through the house naked. Even when he saw your sister, he didn't cover up or apologize. He knew exactly what he was doing. Don't forget, he stopped on his way to his room to greet her. Yeah, he definitely planned this. He's only angry because not only did it not work the way he wanted, but OP rightly broke up with him, and no one else wants to be around him. If some of his former friends have younger female relatives, sisters, cousins, etc., I wouldn't be surprised if one of the first things they did was find out if he acted inappropriately toward them. Sadly, I have a feeling he has. And if that's the case, the ex won't just have the sister's boyfriend to worry about. Not the a-hole. Doesn't sound like he skinny dips usually. Too much of a coincidence. The first time he felt like skinny dipping, your teenage sister was home, and you weren't. The pool could be accidental. But the walking around in the house in front of her? Pervert. He barely even uses our pool, and I've legit never seen him skinny dipping before. And he told me he did it before. I just didn't see or wasn't there. And I don't believe him, and I told him to GTFO. He was obviously trying to live out a porn scene fantasy. Good for you for getting rid of him and showing your sister that you have her back. Also, good job warning others about his creepy actions. You may have helped someone else avoid something uncomfortable. Totally agree with you. The whole thing feels intentional, not some innocent mistake. OP did the right thing shutting it down and standing by her sister. More people need to take that kind of thing seriously. Last story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to give my boyfriend children because he won't marry me? My boyfriend, 33 male, and I, 31 female, have been dating for 7 years. Early on, we talked about marriage, kids, a house, the whole shebang. I like kids, and I think I'd be a good mother. I'd like to have children, but I wouldn't be upset if I didn't have any. I'm happy with my life as it is, and I could be happy with children as well. My boyfriend has always dreamed of being a dad, and recently suggested that we're in the place to start trying for some. I was a little confused by this. I told him early on, within the first year, that I would never have children with a man I'm not married to. I feel like children are a much bigger commitment than marriage, so marriage should come first. Additionally, if a man doesn't love me and isn't committed enough to spending the rest of our lives together, I don't see why I would make the sacrifice of bearing his children. Maybe it's old-fashioned of me. I explained all of this to him once again. He was awkward and said he just doesn't want to get married. He said men get screwed over in divorces all the time, and he just doesn't think marriage is important or a smart choice. I said that's fine, we don't have to get married. I'm happy with our life as it is. We just won't be buying a house together or having children together. We can each buy our own house and live in one, and rent out the other. If we aren't getting married, I don't want to really entangle our finances in any way. He blew up at me and said, I'm punishing him for not wanting to marry me. I said I'm not, just that having children outside of marriage goes against my personal values. I also told him that since he's super against the idea of marriage, I am not going to marry him just for a shut-up ring, that he only gives me because he wants kids. I want him to actually want to marry me, and if not, that's okay. Children and marriage are off the table for us. If he wants kids now, he needs to leave me and find someone who will have kids for him without expecting any stability in return. And maybe I could find someone who wants to marry me and maybe or maybe not have kids. I said all of this to him. He's been very distressed and emotionally distraught. He has a disease that very much limits his life expectancy. He has said that if he doesn't have kids ASAP, he probably shouldn't have them at all, because otherwise he wouldn't be able to see them into adulthood. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. If he thinks men get screwed over in divorce, he should see how single women get screwed over with children. Please get some sort of birth control that cannot be tampered with. This. Women often end up being the primary caregivers after a divorce. But even if the couple agrees on joint custody, it's super common for a mother to have sacrificed years of her career to having and raising the children, which affects her finances and earning potential, not to mention all of the medical risks of pregnancy and the permanent physical changes. If he's not willing to take any risks with his finances, then it's completely unfair of him to expect you to risk both your finances and your health. He also has a disease that could potentially end his life earlier than usual, according to OP. So she gets to carry on his line without the commitment or legal stability and deal with pretty much being a single mom anyways because of his death. All the more reason to insist on marriage. If she's not his legal spouse, who makes his medical decisions if incapacitated? Is his mother going to inherit his share of the house and they get in a big legal battle to keep her kid's childhood home? Nah. Not the a-hole. He said men get screwed over in divorces all the time, and he just doesn't think marriage is important or a smart choice. Explain how women get screwed over all the time, having babies with men who won't commit. And you don't think having a baby with him would be a smart choice either. I was thinking the same exact thing. It's laughable that men get screwed over in divorce all the time. The number 1 or 2 most impoverished groups in America are single mothers. Some men love the idea of having children. They just don't seem to love the idea of actually raising them, paying for them, and loving them for 18+ years. By screwed over, does he mean forced to pay their fair share for the children they bring into this world and the lost income of their partners that grow a goddamn human being for them? Jesus, what a complete sense of entitlement. To expect a woman to risk her career, her health, and possibly her life to grow and deliver a human for you, without offering an ounce of stability or commitment. Maybe if he offered a legal and binding financial agreement, including paying for a reasonable life insurance policy, as well as a predetermined custodial agreement. I wouldn't think he's such a tool. His limited life expectancy makes the whole thing worse. I guess he will also expect her to be committed enough to care for him if his health declines as a result of his illness too. But no, marriage is too much of a commitment for him. It's fine if people want to partner and share life without a legal commitment, but screw any man that just likes the idea of using a woman as his personal human incubator, like she's a 7-Eleven.